Hello, everybody. Welcome to United Canadian Basketball Roundtable discussion. Today, I am hosting a very good roundtable of basketball professionals. And Welcome, everybody. This is being broadcasted over International Ball Facebook page also. We have Greg Francis, professional player, Canadian national team basketball coach, Wayne Dawkins, longtime coach, and also owner and founder of Phase One Basketball. Wes Brown, who runs scouting service for NCAA and pro teams, as well as Julian Suero, who is a national television broadcaster in Dominican Republic, who just recently hosted the 2021 Americup. Welcome, guys. Hope all is well.
Hi. Thanks for the invitation, Tom. Hi, Gregory, Wayne, and Wes.
Tom, can you hear me? I just plugged my headset in. You can hear me okay? Okay, thank you.
So just getting right into it, Julian, you guys hosted the 21-22 Americup right there in Punta Cana in a bubble format, and in between you were also, you had teams Dominican Republic, U.S. Virgin Islands, Cuba, and Canada, supposedly to have been there, which was a no-show, correct?
Yeah, and the tournament was a window to classify for the Americup in 2022 and for the Pan Am Games in 2023. Was in Punta Cana. It's the first time we got a basketball tournament or a professional tournament of any sports in Punta Cana. As you know, guys, Punta Cana is maybe the best part of the Caribbean, the part of the Caribbean who must make more money from the tourism. And it's a good try from the Dominican government to try to make investment in sports tourism in Punta Cana. Was in Hard Rock Cafe, maybe the best place in the world zone. And in my opinion, was really good. Really good. I was there just for working for FIBA Media, making the the interviews post game for the teams. Maybe wasn't a great competition because, as you know, Virgin Islands and Cuba are not powerful anymore. Cuba in the 70s they won a bronze medal in Olympic in Munich, 1972, and the Virgin Islands they are still waiting for a new Kevin Shepard or a new Rajabal. And Dominican Republic right now is a world better team. Was in my opinion, wasn't a really good game because the level wasn't good.
Okay, so you covered the games. You conducted multiple interviews with different people that were there, players, coaches, management. You have your on-site perspective in terms of what went on. What Canada was not able to make these games. This was the release that was put out on the Canada Basketball website. Just going through, the Canadian Senior Men's National Basketball will be unable to participate in November window of FIBA Americup 2021 qualifiers due to ongoing coronavirus COVID-19 global pandemic, which was posted on November 25th. This sounds like a very last-minute cancellation. And so our leadership CEO, Mr. Grunwald, has said after in-depth evaluation, Canadian medical experts, it was deemed that we could not participate in upcoming window with FIBA Americup qualifiers. And obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic has been a challenging time for all of us, and we could not have nothing more but probably represent Canada in those two games. So we are working with FIBA on options to reschedule these games. Now, does that mean that they're working to reschedule the tournament now? Is that a possibility, Julian?
Say again.
Is that possible to reschedule these games?
Yes, they got to do it. They got to do it, but maybe it's gonna be a fine from from FIBA to the Canadian Federation to not show up, for not showing up.
Okay, so you're talking about a possible fine and for a no-show. So how were the games done? When I looked at over to the when I received the release from FIBA, what they said was that they had conducted a number of tests during the arrival. For the whole November 2020 qualifiers, 870 players, as you can see here, 72 national teams played, over 4,000 on-site PCR tests, over 5,000 PCR tests per travel. Were there any cases on site?
Well, in the bubble, yes. Someone from Argentina working for FIBA got a positive test, but he came like Thursday, and the game was Sunday when and he tested positive that Thursday, and she went to her room and never go out.
Okay. So the tournament concluded. I think it was U.S. that qualified, as well as what was the next team that qualified, Julian?
Say again, please.
Who qualified for the next round?
Dominican Republic.
And Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
All right.
Not Cuba or Virgin Island right now.
Okay, what was discussed when Canada was a no-show between the people you interviewed and discussed in the bubble?
No, not much. They just say that the government doesn't want allow the team to come out and play because of the COVID-19. That's all.
Okay, Greg. Starting with you, I want to get your view in terms of the this tournament and its importance to give opportunity for a lot of the lower level. We call them lower level because of obviously rankings and whatnot. Be it Canadian university, Canadian colleges, a lot of the free agents currently at home to participate.
Oh, Greg, you still mute.
Yeah, you have to unmute, Greg.
Mute.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You guys hear me? Okay. Yeah, I think the big challenge for a lot of Canadian athletes was basically, I think the response from Canada in general has been more wait and see kind of thing, and dealing with a lot of, especially the second wave, hit pretty hard. So a lot of people were trying to figure out what they're doing. I know for me at the university, a lot of things were pushed back. And so I think they just came to a level where they didn't want to give clearance. From an insurance perspective, I'm sure it was incredibly hard to get any type of during this time, which is embarrassing for us and all those kinds of things. But from a logistics standpoint, I don't think we could get those guys out of the country. Let alone it would be to get them back in. So I think they took that out, and Tom, as we were speaking before, it was surprising to me, but especially I was able to watch a lot of the other games on FIBA, and you see the other countries are getting their teams out there, participating, and Canada was one of the few teams I did not see, but I know it was hitting us hard, but I was kind of not good for me to see that kind of pull out and get a team to represent the country.
Okay, what's your view on this?
I mean, I appreciate you, Tom. I mean, we had a chance to talk about it briefly. I'm just really believe that if there's a way of supporting that sort of second tier and third tier group of athletes, I mean, I think we got to find a way to do it. I think that the fact that there's been an ability to provide a very safe environment for a group previously, and there's enough. I think there's enough of a precedent set with other organizations and entities that have used the bubble format and have done a really good job of protecting athletes. So I think to at the very least use this as an opportunity to really to push for that second tier and third tier group of athletes to be able to have this platform. I think that's I personally think it's a little disappointing, but again, I don't know all the factors, but I think that we should have made some effort.
Okay, Mr. Wes Brown here from. Who runs scouting? I mean, you've spoken to probably hundreds of players during this period, Wes. What's your take in terms of the Americup?
Well, I think it's just a medical issue, right? Like they're worried about players coming back. It's the same reason that the Raptors can't come play here, right? Can't go back and forth. They don't want people being potentially exposed and coming back into the country. And everyone's obviously trying to lock it down and figure out a way to stop COVID from spreading. So I think it's more about that. Obviously, a chance to play is a great opportunity these days for, with the NBA coming for the secondary guys. And honestly, a lot of the teams that they put out have been secondary guys, which, I think they need an opportunity to play together to get their best guys unified, because they've never played as a team, never practiced as a team for more than probably a few weeks here and there. So, I think it would be nice if they could get that together at some point, but I assume they'll just push the games back and find another location and find a way to play them at some point. Like the New York Post said today, they're going to have 100 million. They're going to get a vaccine, 100 million vaccines out by like February or something like that. So I think it's just a matter of time that they'll get these things done, but it's unlikely that they're going to have NBA players. So we'll see, we'll see who we can get. Like, the FIBA that was just played, the American team was all G League players. So, it's just a wait and see kind of situation.
Well, I'll circle back to you here, Julian. I think when you look at the group that we were, Cuba, a very, the biggest island in the region, with probably less resources, both socially and economically, they fielded a team together. Dominican Republic, again, also managed to put a team together despite a lot of lack of resources, possibly funding, and also hosting the tournament, which was fascinating. U.S. Virgin Island, again, another country with all these countries way smaller size than Canada, and resources and economic power. Julian, in your opinion, how did they put their teams together?
How what?
How did they put their teams together? How did they?
Dominican Republic?
Dominican Republic, U.S. Virgin Islands.
Well, the Virgin Islands is just they create a WhatsApp group and contact all the players. They you saw from the beginning that they don't have anything in command for that team. They are and the Dominican Republic, they got 12 players from 11 players from the roster are professional basketball players playing outside overseas right now. Luis Montero in Argentina, Eloy Vargas in Iran, Angel Delgado in Spain, Adonis Enriquez in Spain, Helvis Solano, Mexico. So it's not like 10, 20 years before that all the players only stay here in the DR because they didn't have the talent to go overseas. It's a whole different thing right now. In the case of Cuba, in my opinion, they only have one good player on the whole team. That's Yaciel Rivero from San Pablo Burgos ACB, Spain. The other guys, they cannot play in a continental league for real.
Okay, so there was players internationally coming to Dominican Republic for the national team, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, Greg, I'll ask you the same question.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to see some of these games that you're talking about, Julian, and you can see that the level is changing per team. Some of the teams aren't as strong, but then I was able to see some of the other teams who were quite strong. They were able to bring in their athletes from different places, and they were able to get done. Like Wes said, I think comes an issue of really the medical people are saying, and I know that yes, they have less resources in their smaller countries, but I hear that the governing bodies through the medical in Canada are quite a bit stricter than for the countries. So I could see why Canada had a big challenge to get their athletes out because, like we're having players even going to places overseas. And the big issue to me, I think, would have been going down and coming back. And I think that's what ultimately made Canada have the most trouble, is that even if they could get some guys down to the game without some type of quarantine situation, they wouldn't be able to get people back into their situations, into their work situations, and their life situations. So I think Canada is going to be into this type of situation to get vaccines in a better place in Canada. I think we'll always be in this situation where we won't be able to travel loosely around the world.
Okay, Wayne, we're talking about very, these are very small islands that, it's a global pandemic, everybody going through the same problem, everybody having problems putting teams together, and even way less resources and funding, to field teams. I mean, even I'm sure during the pandemic, their government didn't, as per Canadian press, who was released an article early in a few months ago, talked about Canadian amateur sports to receive $72 million pandemic relief for money. It's an article that was done by Donna Spencer of the Canadian Press. Do you think these islands have received any kind of such support?
No, of course not.
No.
Of course not. No.
Wait,
no way.
Yeah. Tom, I mean, maybe because I live in Phoenix and it's the COVID wild west out here.
Yeah, but listen, the budget from the sports ministry in the Dominican Republic is DOP, Dominican pesos, like 3,000 millions, and that's like, all right. Let me get the calculator right now. Hold on.
Yeah, Tom, when you're ready, Tom, I'll just
go ahead while he's going to calculate.
No, I just, you know what? I'm just, like I said, I'm a little bit different because, you know, for me, I think there's athletes that would take the 2-week quarantine when they come back gladly in exchange for the opportunity. And you can take some of that 72 million and, you know, buy them a hotel to quarantine. And that's what I did. I mean, I came up to Phoenix. I had some stuff to take care of in Toronto. It was really important. I quarantined for 2 weeks. You know, I did, and but the opportunity outweighed the time it took to keep everybody else safe and myself in quarantine. So, I mean, I look at it a little bit differently. I think, if there are athletes that would be willing to quarantine, willing to do whatever they need to do to protect, everybody else. And all we need to do is support them, with some of those resources, and it could have happened. But again, there's factors that I don't know. And I just look at it differently. That's all. Been in Arizona too long, I guess. I'm sorry.
Tom, less than $50 million is the budget from all the sports in Dominican Republic, sports ministry, all the federation. How much the Canadian Basketball Federation gets per month or per year from the government?
It is said, that's a very good question. My sixth sense was telling me you'll probably ask something like that, but it says National Sports Organization Institute received. No, right here. Okay. So.
Okay, the Dominican Basketball Federation received from the government per month like 15K.
The article also said that large organizations with a lot of athletes and high equipment costs can receive more than $4 million a year in federal funding. Just Wes, your take on the subject, man.
Well, I don't know what it costs. Look, I think the money's a big factor. Like the NBA having access to all this money to build a bubble, obviously.
I'm not talking about NBA. We're talking about America.
No, I know, but I don't know. I don't know what it costs to do these things. Canada basketball doesn't have the same funding as NBA teams, is what I'm saying. So, and if you're worried about like relying on the athletes staying safe, I mean, I don't think you can trust all of them to stay totally. I mean, you saw in the bubble, like Daniel House tried to bring a girl into his room, right, from the hotel. So, I again, like Wayne said, I don't really know all the factors that are at play, but I don't think it's practical if their doctors don't say it is. So I think you have to agree with them. And financially, I mean, I don't think it's a financial issue. I think it's a health issue. But
agreed.
I'm not the expert on that stuff, obviously.
Agreed. What baffles me is, a roster of 22 people. I mean, we have a lot of players that are in Canada. My view is that a lot of players in Canada that are quarantined at home, could have potentially used this as an opportunity to further their careers. And this is a tough economic times for a lot of the, lower income families that have a son or daughter that is their all they got in terms of, being able to further their career and being able to generate income. And the hosting the tournament in Dominican Republic brings very little risk to Canada, because when you look at it, you're sending a team to DR, they play there, and they come back just like anybody else who's traveling to Canada. They quarantine for 14 days, and everything is back to normal.
Yeah, Tom. Yeah, I agree, Tom. I agree with you, Tom. It's sort of like the battle with big business, because the players with the players that got the big contracts, the big money connected to the NBA. I mean, it doesn't, this platform, this opportunity doesn't change not one bit for them. It's sort of like the small business. I think the second tier and third tier players are like the small businesses. They need the platform. They're looking for that next job. They're trying to raise their stock. And the impact on them is obviously far greater. And I don't know how many of these guys you may know, but I know a lot of them. And a platform like this would have been incredible. And I think if you would have said to them, "Hey, look, we're going to fly you out, but when you come back, you got to quarantine for 2 weeks," or else you can't go. I'm like, I know a bunch of guys. I'd be like, "Shoot, sign me up. I got, I'll quarantine for 2 weeks."
I mean, it's a privilege to wear the country's flag and to represent the country internationally. To me, and to be able to participate among other nations and to compete in a bubble format like they have. I mean, here we talked about how FIBA has hosted all these games throughout different continents, and Julian here. Julian,
yeah,
you probably think we're soft. Do we?
What you say?
I said, do you think Canada is soft? Is that the reputation now in Latin America, that Canada did not show up, so Canada is soft?
No, I think they are just try to. I don't know how to say in English. Remember, I'm Dominican.
Cautious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but not soft. In my opinion, in all Occidental, they are the best team besides North America, and besides the United States in basketball. They just got to put together that talent. Like I told you before the interview, Tom. In my opinion, they need an NCAA coach with high-level coach, someone like Jake Wright, Bill Self, something like that, and a good assistant coach with a European roots, like Itor Messina, the guy who coaches Spain, the Italian guy, I don't remember.
Sergio Scariolo,
someone like that, and I'm not saying that the Canadian coaches are bad, but in my opinion, it's like in Dominican Republic. The talent of the basketball players of the Dominican Republic and Canada, they are in a higher level than their coaches right now.
Well, I think we got a pretty good one right now with Nick Nurse, NBA champion, and head coach of the Toronto Raptors. That's my view, but I appreciate your view also. And this is what this roundtable is: respectfully discussing each other's view. Anyone, any thoughts in closing? You mentioned that there may be a fine as per your conversations with some of the people that were there. How do we move forward from this?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a fine for sure, but because they say that maybe Canada don't need to show up to the window to classify to the Americup. USA and Canada, they are in the Americup already, but maybe they cannot go to the Pan Am Games in 2023. That's all I hear.
Okay. Okay, Coach Francis, what do you think? How do we move forward from here?
Man, it's going to be a challenge. I know I heard before that they were worried about sanctions coming from not participating. They wanted to participate in all the events, and if you look at it, most of the countries are participating in everything, no matter how small they are and the resources. So I know that they must not have come to a decision not to participate very toughly, because they know that if they don't go to things, hosting themselves. And so there might be a fine. I would imagine this, if there's anything that we want to try to host in the future, it's going to be sorely affected by this for a FIBA event. I know the FIBA guys do not joke around with that kind of, but at the end of the day, I don't know how much power Canada had really change things and say, okay, we are going to send athletes here because it's a medical issue. But I mean, I feel really try to stay to us in other our endeavors to be a basketball power. And if we miss an event, it's a big embarrassment. I know we need to find a way to do better, no matter how it is. Just find a way to get there so that we can showcase this, and then we won't be denied opportunities once again for athletes.
Wayne, your remarks in closing.
Oh yeah, man. I think go find some leadership that is more deeply invested. You know, I mean, I look at the people that are to be leading Canada basketball for a while now, and man, I'm like, I don't see people that have that type of investment beyond their own interests. That's just my opinion, because I think it would be reflected in some of the choices and decisions that are made. But I don't hear any of the leaders talking about how the impact it might have on the second and third tier guys. Like you're the first person I heard bring that up. So, and then I think that's to me, that's a huge reflection of, what the leadership really cares about. But who am I?
No, I appreciate that thought and input. Wes, your remarks in closing, your take.
Yeah, I mean, I think when things open up, we'll get to we'll get to making up for these games, hopefully. But we are we don't know the specific FIBA guys, how open they are to actually letting them make up for those games. You know what I mean? And obviously, the health officials have made their decision. So, I hope things get reconciled moving forward. Obviously, it's COVID; it's difficult for everyone that's dealing with it, but. And as great of an opportunity as it would be, I think you have to listen to the health officials. So I honestly agree with what they're doing. I think it's totally fine. It's health first, and hopefully you can make up for it. And I don't think in the long run it's reasonable that it will hurt them from qualifying for future events. But it's up to the FIBA guys to decide.
Dang, Wes, you sound like Mr. Politically Correct, dog.
I mean, I'm anxious about COVID. It concerns me. So I would err on the side of caution. Like, it's an easy decision, really. And if the officials are telling you that, we have no choice.
Spoke like a true Canadian. I feel you, bro.
Okay, well, thanks everybody for joining in and having this conversation. I want to wish everybody. Good health and continued success, and just be well. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Julian, thanks for being here. Greg, Wayne, Wes, thanks very much again.
Okay, thanks for everything, guys. Bye.
Hey, thanks, man. Greg, easy.